Is this a true rally simulator? Are the trees spectacular? How good is the grass? And what does the bold git with a head that looks like an egg think of the new Assetto Corsa Rally? Well, after trying Assetto Corsa Rally on multiple simulators at Sim Racing Expo 2025, that is what we're going to try and answer in this video, whilst also trying not to be distracted by the beautiful trees and grass, which I might have mentioned a few too many times in this video. Before we move on to nip it in the bud, this is developed by Supernova Game Studios, who are under the same publisher as Kunos, but are a completely separate developer, with this game using Unreal 5 engine and not the same game engine as Assetto Corsa Evo. It's a totally separate project. There is some tech shared between the titles, but it is a separate developer, so hopefully that's clear. I know it's confusing, but that is the way of the world. Subscribe so you have the power to unsubscribe when I say something that you disagree with. Click the like button to feel mildly depressed. And of course, a huge thank you to everybody that sponsored our trip to Sim Racing Expo. Here they are. This video was possible because of them. Thank you guys, you're insane. On with the video. I've snuck into the Fanatec booth and we've got the new Assetto Corsa Rally. Before we talk more about the handling and our impressions on this beautiful triple screen rig, I think we're going to have to draw attention to the grass. The grass here. We have absolutely phenomenal grass quality in this game, and it might be taking the crown for the grass of all sim racing titles. The trees as well, and the variation, absolutely amazing, and this is probably going to be a 10 out of 10 game on the grass scale, I have to say. But not all of you, I know, are as excited about grass as I am. So let's talk a bit more about the handling. And what I will say is, having played this a bit more on different simulators, I do really appreciate with this that you can really feel that there's a lot of depth in this simulator. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of nuance to the handling of the vehicles, a lot more so than I think with existing rally games on the market. And as a result, it actually takes a lot more sort of time to sort of get used to in some ways, but also to get the most out of each vehicle. And I've started to dial myself into how the physics of this work. Obviously, I personally also like sims and stuff where you can just jump into it, and I do think you should be able to just jump into stuff. So I do think there are some funky aspects to the driving in this, but the depth, as I say, is really appreciable with this title, like in terms of like throttle application, when braking as well, like how the car loads up on the brake and how the braking unsettles the car, how the car's riding over the suspension and moving it around, how the oversteer works. There's just a lot going on with this sim where you really actually have to approach it a bit more with a bit more thought and a little bit less sort of robotic maybe than some of the older rally titles on the market, or even stuff like WRC and maybe the older like Sebastian Loeb rally games. I do think this is like, you can definitely tell that they're actually going for like full-on hardcore rally sim with this. So those of you that are fans of Richard Burns Rally and proper rally games, I think you're going to absolutely love this. I mean, maybe at first, like me, you'd be a little bit skeptical, but once you start getting into it, I think this is going to really actually blow the minds of rally fans. And look at this, look at the lighting, bloody hell, up through the trees and the grass. Again, my view on this title is probably been quite a bit distorted by the sheer quantity of trees and grass, but I feel like I'm on a nice ride through the countryside here, and like this is exactly what the WRC rally games missed. This feels like a real forest that I'm driving through, and the road feels real. Like I hate to be positive about Unreal 5 engine, but yeah, this is really
impressive. Graphically, this is super impressive. Sounds might be glitching out a bit here. We're recording the sound by putting a microphone into the headset, so the sound, ignore the sound in this video. I've just got it on so you can hear what the car's doing, but the sound as well, actually, in terms of what I can actually hear, not what you'll be hearing through the recording, seems really pretty decent to me as well, which is something that's often a problem with rally games. And then additionally, the stages that I've driven so far, on top of being like beautiful laser scan high detail stages with these like tiny little details and road furniture, you also have they're pretty long stages, to be honest. I don't know how many are actually in this in the early access first launch, but the stages are like, this one's 9 kilometers, I think it is total, which is a fairly decent stage, you know, to drive through. So you're not gonna have that issue that you have with some rally games. Oh, I'm hitting the wall there. We got away with it. No, we didn't. We're dead. But yeah, I mean, out of the blue, a new proper rally simulator. What on earth? This run over that sign. This sort of stuff is what makes Sim Racing Expo really worth coming to. So you get these surprise launches. Can't finish on entirely positive. Do have to be critical. I will say that with the settings on the wheels I'm using and on the tarmac stages, it can be a bit hard to catch some like larger oversteer and working out the timing. I wonder how much of that is actually learning the timing of catching the oversteer versus the actual physics of the game and maybe it not being too catchable on the tarmac. But that's the only real thing I'm really picking up on. Maybe with it being Unreal 5, it'll be hard to get the performance. I've not seen any talk of VR support. We'll interview the developers and find out on that. But other than that, potential performance and tarmac being quite hard to catch the oversteer, the more I play this, the more excited I get. So, Assetto Corsa Rally, what on earth, guys? See you in the next video. Thanks for watching this. Take care. Goodbye.